Okay, you guys, what is up? The King of Lightning is here today to do Magi, the Labyrinth of Magic, episode 21 review, 2-1. So, of course, and I believe we are nearing the end of the actual season. So, once the season ends, bam, manga time. It is manga time. We are going to dive into the manga. We are going to read the shit. And we are going to embrace this shit. So, of course, before I get started, look down the description below for the link to this week's episode of Magi, number 1. And number 2, of course, Sony Music. Let me just clear my throat real quick. Alright, okay. Sony Music, you guys own nothing that pertains to this video. The thumbnail is an original photo, which does not belong to you. The visuals are me. You do not own me. And of course, the audio is a homemade soundtrack with me speaking over that homemade soundtrack. This video follows the rules and regulations that are set by YouTube. Now, that being said, alright, this week's episode of Magio, well, actually, to be honest, to be very honest, it's actually a very simple episode. It really is. It's very straightforward, very simple, straight to the point, right there for you in a overall nutshell. All it really is, and I'm being good. So this episode review is gonna be quick. It is because it's right there. It's right there. Basically, in a nutshell, is the journey itself is we are in the dungeon. We open all these doors and find out that there's actually creatures living here that are kind of humanoid and actually talk. Then they proceed further into the dungeon via this one door, meet this like weird bear dude. They beat the bear dude, and then they go even further. Wind up in this area where like there are like these human trees, and the human trees are the actual people of the country that were sucked in by the dungeon. Zagan comes out, is like, yeah, like these creatures that you see in the dungeon are actually made from the humans. I believe their essence or from their Magi. No, from Magoi, yeah. Very complex magic. Then they proceed even further. They get split up at some point, and then because like after they do like this weird like box thing going on, with more of these creatures that they fight against, they get split up because he realized that there is he realized that what Ren Hakuryu used to say was actually pretty true. So he divides Ren Hakuryu and Morgiana away from Alibaba and Aladdin. They go on their journeys. They complete their journeys after Ren Hakuryu passes out after using too much Magoi, and then they meet up. And then after like a bitch fit from Ren Hakuryu, they come together. And that is pretty much that is the episode. That is the episode in a very brief nutshell. When it comes to actually story progression, character-wise, it's mainly there for Alibaba and Ren Hakuryu. Okay, so right there is the actual episode in a nutshell. So off the gate, when it comes to story progression, it's okay. It's not because they're still in the dungeon, if you want to put it like that. But but at the same time, it was fast paced. So number 1 off the gate, the pacing was okay. Maybe even like subpar plus, because it did feel really fucking fast. Especially, I forgot. Zagan had the girl that wanted to see her parents. That Ren Hakuryu said, I'll go save them. She apparently got sucked in too, which they didn't really explain. It was like, why is she here? And we can assume that when the guys got sucked in, like she came later on, had her own boat, got too close, and then she got sucked in. We can assume that occurred. We really can, but it wasn't explained to us. That's an assumption. So right there, something that they could have added, but they didn't. So another reason why the episode was kind of fast paced. So when I say, so basically, once again, off the gate, progression wise, it was okay, and when it comes to actual pacing, it was subpar plus, because the pacing I felt was too fast. Like, and that's my personal opinion. So that's number one. Actually, no, those are two things right there, right? The third thing, character progression, and that was good, mainly because of Ren Hakuryu, because he kind of surprised me. All right, he's more like, I mean, he in this case, from the actual anime standpoint, he is like former Alibaba, where Alibaba always relied on himself in order to do the job, and he always put the blame on himself, and he never relied on others. Alibaba, see, this was actually good character progression for Alibaba and Ren Hakuryu, because Alibaba, he actually understands that had he had accepted the help from others back in the day, when he was during the Balbat arc, he would have actually saved Kashin's life. He realized that. Or it would have been a lot easier to save Kashin, and others would not have died in that incident had he relied on others more fully. It took him a while too. In fact, he didn't rely on others up until the time where Morgiana came in the middle of his assault on the castle. So it was like, okay. But Ren Hakuryu, he's the same way. He continues to rely on himself in order to get the job done. And because of that, he always falls short. And he always feels pathetic because he doesn't rely on others. He feels that he's like a solo dude and that he should do it himself. And right there, that's that's an early Zuko trait. And that is, come on, man, hold on. One more time. I'm thirsty, right? Yo, do you remember like the first episodes of the original Last Airbender, where freaking Zuko would be like, yo, Grandpa, I'm doing this shit by myself to redeem my honor, so I can capture the Avatar, for the Fire Nation, to please my father. So it's like he's doing this shit solo. This is an early Zuko trait, and yeah, like again, from the story aspect, it's an early Alibaba trait, but it's also an early Zuko trait because this character scheme, Ren Hakuryu, he follows Zuko very strongly. So yeah, right there, I was like, yo, this motherfucker, Zuko 2.0, right here. And also, he had a bitch fit. It was like, at one point, after Zagan, after like his trials, and they come back together, and he was like, yo, there's a weak link here. And it's this guy. And Ren Hakuryu's like, I know. And he starts bawling. And he's like, yo, are you dead ass crying right now? Like what's going on? What's going on exactly? And he proceeds to bitch for like a good 5 minutes, just crying, tears, bawling. It was like, yeah, like that called me off guard. I was like, yo, are you really a prince? And then it's like he's telling off Alibaba. He's like, yo, like, why are you so strong? Fuck you, man. It's like, okay. He's like, Morgiana, you're a freak. Get the fuck out of here, midget. So it was just like, yo, like that called me off guard. I was like, okay, all right. So right there, character progression. That was good. And the last part I want to talk about here is Zagan himself. Zagan himself is kind of like a pretty boy guy. He is. He really is. Yeah, he is. Like a mix between a pretty boy and like a semi-scientist, but only with magic. So it's kind of like, he like how he experimented on the humans that he took pre-hand. And how he made these guys, like he made these things that are humanoids in a way, that actually speak human tongue and resemble humans in a way. And he does this because apparently he hates humans. We don't know why. It's very strange because this actually goes against, I believe this goes against the word of Solomon, because we see other jinn so far. We've seen, what was her name? Oh my God, what was her name? That one girl. Or like the nipple piercing, like see like that. I forgot her name, but she was hot. All right, that one jinn with the nipple piercings. It was like yo. Yeah. What was her name? Frick, man. Okay. I forgot her name. I forgot. Shame on me. How do you forget nipple piercings? Blue tiggles with piercings, man. How do you forget that shit? Alright, I forgot her name. Shame on me. But her and Amon, they clearly follow the will of Solomon. Amon actually came up and he was talking to Ugo. Again, another example, Ugo. They follow the will of Solomon. But this guy seems to go against it. Almost on some Al Thaman shit. So it's very estranged from the rest of the jinn that we've seen so far. And there has to be a reason as to why that is. So we may find out later on. But that's pretty much it. That's it. So right there, the very first episode, I'll give it OK+. Yeah, OK+. Because we have one OK part. Actually, no, I'll give it OK. Yeah, I'll give it OK. Because there's a subpar plus. And then it drops the OK plus from an O to an OK. Because there's a good, there's an OK, which would mean OK plus, but then there's a subpar plus, and then that'll give like an OK overall. So OK episode of Magi. I'm done. Be sure, of course, rate, comment, and subscribe as always. And I'm signing out. Peace. Have a nice day.